we started last time by drilling into a template and going almost like line by line and seeing where it goes and how that works.
Okay.
So now that we've tasted that, I think because that could take a really long time, I thought, and Michael agrees, that here we'll skip this in webinar 3C. We'll save the service template line by line, continuing that till we're done with that at the end. And we'll cover these other topics. And when we get to the end, however long it takes, however many subsequent, webinars it takes to fully understand a template, that's how it will be. But in the meantime, these other issues will have been addressed. That's what we're going to do. So we are now going to look at a template and the PDF settings that are there. All right. So remember what date we had opened last time? It almost doesn't matter.
In my notes, at month 1, day 29, but that was early on, I think.
It was like February 14th or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm seeing January 29th, I think.
January 29th?
I believe so, yeah. That's the last screenshots that I have.
Good. All right. So
Vespers of January 29th. So I guess it would be the 30th liturgically.
No, if it was, that's okay. We'll do Vespers of the 29th. All right. Can you see the ALWB? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start by talking about these two sections. These two things. One is the head of a template and one is the preface. These may take different names and different processes, in Doxa, but we need to be able to accomplish certain things. And here's what we accomplish with these is the headers and footers of a PDF file, page numbers or whatever it is that we want, on the red line underneath or whatever goes above. And then in the cover section, goes without saying, what the cover sheet and the copyright sheet, which one to pick so that it picks the right, says the right things on the cover. So here in the head, obviously we have the date, and the date is not specific to the PDF file, but it belongs in the head, and then the date can be changed anywhere within the template afterwards. But this is the sort of primary date that the processes will always, go and see everything relative to the highest date of the template that we're running. Even if this template is linked to other templates and sub-templates and selectors and stuff like that, it will always point to this date or the date that is set after that. So here's the principal one. So then we have sections here: page header even. So on the even 2, 4, 6, and 8, what it's going to say on top, and page header odd, and then page footer even, and page footer odd, and set page number. This is the page number for where it's going to start. So if suppose I was doing like a really a long book or something, and I knew that I wanted the page number to start at 10 because this is in the middle of it or something like that, I would put 10, here. And so the pagination would begin at page 10, but in most cases we want Well, you want it to be 1. So here in the page header even, Michael, are you still using these kinds of things, or will it be completely different?
No, it's the same.
It's the same. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we look at a PDF file, let me open it. January 29th. Well, doesn't matter.
I mean, the structure is a little bit different, but all those components are still there.
Sure. So I'm going to anything here. So here's a Vespers service. Do you see the PDF file now? Is that service of Vespers?
We don't see the actual PDF, no.
Okay.
No PDF.
Okay. I have to change which is being shared. All right. Now you do.
Can you maximize it, maybe?
Okay. So
anyway, that's good.
So this is obviously the cover, and that's generated by what's in the head. The second page is the credits. So it's all the, who we need to cite as having permission to use, or whose translations are being, and NKJV, RSV, SAS, those are mandatory that we have to cite, the scripture that we're using, and anything else that goes on this page. I'll show you where all that comes from, and a copyright here for various things. And then page 1. Okay, so the cover, whatever's in that cover section, I think it's called the preface, that comes before the actual PDF file with numbers. And then do we have a thing that comes after if we wanted? Did you ever create that?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. So when we're talking about the header, we're talking about this stuff up here. This. You see that? Vespers on Sunday evening. And that is on an odd page. Okay. And then this is page 2, and the header is in Greek. Esperinos ti Kyriaki to vradi. All right. So we were able to do that, and this line, the line that comes, underneath the header, and the page number in English is, it's in the center at the bottom of each page. Okay. So now let's look at how we get that to happen. All right, I'm going to share the again. All right, you seeing the ALWB now? Yes. Okay. So page header even, excuse me, we saw it say on Saturday evening. Now, page header even was in Greek. So this tells us how we want it justified. We could have said left. Okay, we could say, it would all move to the left, or right, but we decided we like center. I like center. So that's what that piece does. And then we have this thing called look up, which basically means a SID or RID is coming, an ID for a key from an Aries file is coming later. It could be something else, though. We have, let me see here. We have some options. It can be a lookup, which is this. In other words, look up a key. It can be the date, and that would just calculate the date and display the date. it could be the commemoration, which is going to go look at the dated file and pick, the commemoration from there and put that at the top. Here's page number, which will come later. Here's a title. I'm not sure if we ever use title or what that is. And the other one is text. So if we were to put text, then it gives us the opportunity to put a string here, and whatever we put here, whether it's Greek, English, whatever words we put here, that's what would appear. If I typed it in Greek, then it would be in Greek. All right. So that's the flexibility that we have. But for dated services, we like to we do this. So now it's pointing to a key that's called VE PDF header, and we need to find that. Where is that? All right, so it's in a file called template titles, and that's language specific or version specific. So here in the Greek library, in the folder called properties, we have a file called templates.titles. And this gives us all the different ways that we can say the names of the various services, like Vespers, small Vespers, or complete Vespers, or matins, or customizable matins, or unabridged matins. Let me go to so here's the list in English. For example, we are at Vespers, and when I pick this key, which key did we pick? This one is ve.pdf.header. That key was created specifically so we could put the way we want the service to say on the header of a PDF file. And that is that. So that's why when we looked at the PDF file, it said Vespers and then something. If I had put PDF cover, it would say the service of Vespers. And I'll use the PDF cover key when we get to the cover. But here, this key was created for use on the header of a PDF file.
Michael?
Yes.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, Father Seraphim. I was just curious, where in Doxa are these settings stored?
Where are they stored?
Well, I was just wondering as I look at, like it wouldn't be in BTX, but LTX or configs.
I
mean, I guess I would imagine it would be an LTX.
Well, let me look it up and I'll put it in the chat. How's that?
Okay.
So this was a specific ID that led us to a specific text that's in Greek, esperinos, in English, Vespers. And then it's followed by a relative ID, which is day, D-A-V-E, on the eve before. So this relative ID will calculate what day of the week January 29th is, and then return the name of the day prior to it, because Vespers comes the day before. So let's go see what that does. All right. This is the key ring. And the algorithm, the program knows that any key that begins with DA should use the 7-day of the week cycle and return whatever it is according to that day. So we're going to now actually go, this is the RID key. We're going to actually go now to the actual key, and that's in the library. That's language specific. It's in the thing called daily. In books and collections, it's daily. And let's just say it's Sunday, day 1. And here's the key, DAVE, on the evening before. All right. And that's what it says. To Sabato Tovravi, on Saturday evening, even though it's the file is for Sunday, this key on the evening before, we make it say on Saturday evening. And it's another redirect. We'll take it to where it actually lives, which is in another properties file called template dot, it's the same one, template dot titles. The reason why this is how I approached it, that there are probably several occasions when I need something to say on Saturday evening. And here's one of the cases on a PDF file where it's for a Saturday evening Vespers. It's going to say on Saturday evening. I might use this key in other instances as well, but it's here that it lives. So that's template titles. All right. So those two things together, that's specific ID that says Esperinos, Vespers, and the relative ID, which we'll say on Saturday evening, because January 29th is a Sunday. We want the day before. And then this piece, Lang 1, we have a choice of 1 or 2. L1 for language 1, L2 for language 2, and I believe Doxa will have an option for L3, correct? Yes. So in my world, language 1 is Greek, and language 2 is public, but English, but it's actually public. So where would we find the definition of language 1 and language 2? Where are they set? Michael, do you remember? Is that in the system?
I don't. It's specified in the generator. It's whatever you've said the versions are that you're generating for.
Well, no, for these things, how does it know L1 is Greek? Is that in the generator? Oh, maybe that is in the generator.
Yeah, because it's L1 is basically whatever version you set for the leftmost column.
Yeah. This is not that. Or is it in the preferences? Yes. So again, now not each language, now each client, each jurisdiction, each archdiocese, each parish that has its own DCS. So this is now DCS specific. And here, when I create the Go Arch DCS, it will eventually get to that. But here's where language 1 and language 2 come into play. So whatever I fill in for V1 here for that, or for the liturgical texts, V1 is Greek, and V2 is public, which in our case is English, and all the English is, combined together.
Before you leave that file, you just might point out the date format because that comes into play later when you get to the at date.
Right. So here's where we determine date formats for PDF headers and date format for the service date. So if I were to use, you saw that one of the options in the PDF header was date. Okay. So that would trigger the date, which is January 29th. And it would, which file is it here? And it would do it in this format for language 1 and this format for language 2. So EEE stands for, what does it mean? Is that month?
It must be well, I don't know. I don't remember. Let's see. Let me look it up. It's a Java thing, I think.
Okay. D would be the day number, the digit. MMM is month. So EEE is, well, by 4 Ys is year.
Oh, it's the name of the day, like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with 3 E's, it would be a 3-letter abbreviation.
Right.
Or four, does 4 mean the full word? I think 4 means.
I think yes, that's right.
Yeah.
3 letters is the abbreviation and 4 is the full name of the day.
And it gets those abbreviations from international code somewhere.
Well, I mean, it's part of the Java language specification. So it's probably locale specific somehow.
Gotcha. Because it knows if it's Greek. I mean, well, how would it know that it's Greek?
No, it doesn't know it's Greek.
Do we have those somewhere?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So anyway, that's for the PDF, and that's what would happen if we did date. I might do that in some other files, but we have that possibility, but I don't use it now. But like I said, that's where the format is. We could change the format to be full-fledged, full day. All right. Sorry, this is kind of late in the day for me, and so I'm a little bit tired. So now on the header of the odd header of the odd numbered pages, we have a similar look. We have center, we have the lookup, and it's going to look up these. It's the same keys as before. The only difference is we changed the language. So in a bilingual file, when the generator says generate in both languages, then language 1 will be on the even pages and in the header, and language 2 will be on the odd pages. Then we have the footer. Again, here we've decided to put center and page number. Page number is one of the things we're allowed to do. And we got that in both. And then we said start the page number on number 1. Now, how does it know like to be red or black or underlined or whatever? There is, much like the CSS for HTML, there is another way that we have the styles for the PDFs. And they are I have it in the templates project under covers and PDF folder. So there's a file called PDF style sheet, and specifically, I mean, it says ematins. It just says that's what I'm going to call this set of styles, the name of the style sheet. So if we open that, and we have all these different, these are like the styles of the CSS. And let's go to page number. So whenever a page number is invoked, does that get a style? No, it's not by page number. It's by footer. There we go. So here we go. What will the style be of the header? So we go here to header even center. When that's selected in the atem file, this is what the styles will be. It will be solid silver line, 10-point font, center. Or we could have header even center color. And then what would that color be? It would be red. And where are these? Well, these are here. Page header even. Excuse me, page header even. And so we are at header even. So header even, and when it hits center, sorry. So header even, and when it sees center, it will run this style. If it sees left, it will run this style. If it sees right, even right, it will run this style.
Father, can I explain something here?
Please.
Notice at header even left, what is the text alignment? It's center. But just to explain, the footers and headers actually have slots. There's a left slot, a center slot, and a right slot. And you can format those slots and you can control the content of those slots. So in the headers, in the template, when you say left, you mean put this in the left slot of the header. And so that's why you can have this format that says header even left, but the text align is center. It means it's going to be on the left slot, but the text will be aligned within that slot to the center of it.
So yes, yeah, PDF generation has its own sort of language. It's the .fo. What does that stand for? Is that
Sorry, say again?
The FO, the files that these produce?
Oh, that's just a particular PDF generation library that was written for the Java language that people can use.
Okay. So we should also look. So this is where the styles of the colors and all the stuff. We also need to look at there's a file called PDF. There's pref PDF. Okay. In the preferences, no. There's a file that indicates the size of the paper. Where is that here? Here we go. So under generator settings, the pref.pdf, and then a specific name, ALWB. And this gives us how big, what the page size. So 8.5 by 11, the even margin top, bottom margin. So here are those slots that Michael was talking about. Body region, body footer. I don't mess with these too much, but I do have, if I were to do a booklet, that's 7 by 8.5, I would come and have to comment out, these that are for 8.5 by 11 and use, these settings. Or if I'm doing a 5.5 by 8.5 booklet, I would, activate these settings. This, yeah. This is asking body, page, columns, quantity. I could either put how many columns? It's 1. And that's coming from here. Okay. So this will generate a PDF file in as many columns as we tell it to, up to 2 in this case. And where does it get that? We'll talk about that when we get to generation. Yeah. All right, when we get to generation, we'll talk the details. We move to the thing called preface covers. And here, how do we select which cover to use? So it's another complex system that I created. Here's a redirect to another template, pdf.cover.be. So let's go there. So that lives in the templates project in the covers PDF under the Vespers. So ME PDF cover.vespers.me means the covers for Vesper services according to the Mineon, in other words, according to the date. And so we had January 29th. If we score, this has literally all 365 days. Okay, so it's going to look for, it's going to run this template for the cover, find the date, because here's the logic. It says when date is, okay, so we go to January 29th, and here's that little bit is what gives us the cover that you see on the PDF file that we had opened. Well, what's all there? My gosh. Well, 2 lines of code. It's another redirect. This says insert the section called title_ME. So if we go there, all right, all it did was scroll up to the top of this same file. And this is a reusable block of code that gives us all that nice stuff that says, the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America, the digital chant stand of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America, the service of Vespers on Sunday, all that stuff we saw on the cover of the PDF without the actual date. That's covered in here. So we have the logo, line above, we have the actual logo, which has digital chant stand, logo 2, the second line says of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America, and they have their styles here using the roll thing. And the next line is a line, and then title, it says PDF cover. So we did PDF header before. We'll go back to that same file. So we had used PDF header, but I wanted to be able to say on the cover a different way to say that. So I created the key that would say PDF or on the cover of the PDF. And this says Akoluthia to Esperinu, or in the English language, it'll say the service of Vespers. The Archdiocese, I may have said something else, but the Archdiocese says we would like the covers of the PDFs to say, the service of Vespers. And so that's where I would just come in here and change whatever we put here, that's what's going to appear on the front of the of the PDF. Now, how do we get it to say on Sunday evening for Monday, January 22nd, and all the rest of that stuff? Well, let's go back to our cover template and we scroll down to the 29th. So after it says digital chant stand service at Vespers, because of the top of the template, now we go, that was all that, okay? And now it says insert section PDF cover VETR SOC OME1 WOC ME1 cover. Okay. Wow. So that's an insert. So that's my little shorthand to tell me we're going to open now a specific kind of cover information. And so let's go there. It means Vespers. Include any triodion information. Include Sunday information, if it's a Sunday or not. Include Oktoikos information, meaning, you know, what mode of the week it is. And here ME1 means, you know, and the first commemoration of the Minaon. So let's go see what that looks like. And where is that? Well, it's over here. It's in the same folder. It's right here. And so this cover says, if the movable cycle is 1 through 65, because apparently January 29th, it's possible for it to be, it's the outer edge, the outer edge of the movable cycle. It is possible for January 29th to be the first day of Triodion, not any other ones. It's the only time, if it falls within the Triodion, it's going to be the first day. It's the first possible day the Triodion can begin. So if it's that, then we need it to say the mode of the week. It'll look it up. Here we have the movable cycle. We need to look up what day of the movable cycle it is. So here we can click on that. And here we have PDF cover lookup. That is also here, down here. And here's a insert section that acts as an algorithm. And it says when the movable cycle day is 1, 8, 14, and it goes through every single day of the movable cycle that has any commemoration information. And when it's invoked, in this case, let's say it's none of them because this year it didn't fall into Triodion, but let's say it was. That's where we would get the book name Triodion, the first commemoration of the Triodion, which is Sunday of the Publican and the Pharisee, and on Saturday evening. We got that. That's where that would come from. All right. So back to the cover we were looking at. So if it was 1 through 65, in other words, if it was from the Sunday of the Publican and the Pharisee up through mid Holy Week somewhere, use, you know, all of this. All of that with its various configurations. Otherwise, and that would be the case for us, otherwise, put this in there. Cover, the name of the book, Oktoikos. Okay, what does OCBK mode naked mean? Well, I wanted to be able to say mode 2 or whatever. All right. No, it's not there. I think it's in miscellanea. There we go. All right, so this key, sometimes I want to say mode 1 with a period. Sometimes I want to say mode 1 without a period. And so I created a key that says mode 1 naked or mode 2 naked. And what that means is the name of the mode without the period. The only way I could do that, I think maybe in Doxa, it'll be a different way. All right. So, but this is actually a RID. So we're going to follow this one down. This gave us the name of the book. And now if it's the octoechos and which part of the octoechos, okay, we go to this. Okay. Yeah, because it's octoechos. Where is that? Oh. Oh, here we are. Okay. Each first day of a mode, so like mode 1, day 1, will have a key that will have what is naked going to be for that key. And it redirects to that file that we just looked at, where it's naked. So the reason why we put it in the octoechos file is so that it could be governed by the octoechos algorithm. So by putting RID in front of this, and we have a key that begins with OC, it's telling the program find the relative key, the relative ID for this particular key. And so it's going to look in the octoechos on mode, whatever it calculates it is, mode 2, and it's going to go find what I showed you right there on the day, yeah, in the correct mode of the week. So that's why that's there. And then under that we have on the evening of the actual day. And then we have the commemoration on this line. That's where it said, for example, for feast of Epiphany and memory of our Father among the saints, Sylvester, Pope of Rome. That would have been here. So here we have noun, and then the date. Of course, this is a RID. So, and I'm going to come back now to show you the. Has this all been? Have you been seeing all this? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to share the PDF again. So all that stuff that we did is over here. Can you see the PDF file now?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So all this was handled, by that one line. And then all this was handled, by that redirect to go, and tell us specific date. And we saw where it said, we just saw where it says the name of the book, or so noun, the name of what date it is. It calculated it, January 2nd. And then we saw the lookup for feast, for the commemoration of the day, that looked up the noun on the day of the month. And then how do we get this? How does the cover know that this PDF file is Greek and English or English only? And that happens. Is anyone going to be able to do this? You just keep following it down the rabbit hole. Anyway, so we did all this, and then we get to this line: title, roll, cover 6, pref generation, ALWB cover version. So here it says texts in Greek and English, but how does it know to do that? Well, here's how. We'll click on it, and that is set when it comes time to generate the PDF files, we can only generate one language at a time. In other words, we can generate a 2-column file, and then we have to reset certain things and generate a one language file. So when I generate Greek and English, this should be no. When I generate Greek and English, this line is like that. This is the setting, GE. And fortunately, I have a little note here. It says adjust for language, GE or E or G. So if it's a Greek and English, sorry, G is not Spanish. So it'd be SE, whatever. It goes somewhere. It goes to this file called eManton's cover. So let's go there. Okay. So here is another sort of functional file to put things in. So whenever we want the cover to say texts in Greek and English, that's the setting we put here, GE. If I only want English, I'll delete the G, and now it's going to point to that same file, but to that key, which will say what I want it to say, text in English. And then when I generate a Greek file, I'll change this to G so that the cover will say text in Greek. I could have said Kimenon Iselinika, and that's what it would show. But as a matter of fact, Greek covers are not generated anyway. So I haven't figured out how to generate automatically Greek covers. I mean, I never cared enough to do that because it's America. So I think you can make this Jesse for Spanish. If we go to this file, we could probably put, SE text equals why is that giving me a I don't know why that's giving me a
You're missing the equal sign.
oh, that's why. Okay, so if we could add whatever we want here, and then here, if we put SE, it would point, well, I have to rebuild. We would get this. So any kind of text we want to appear has to live somewhere. And so here we are. Text in Spanish and English. Problem solved. Okay. All right. All right, so that was here. We're back to so that's the bottom. That's text in Greek and English. All right, so now let's share the cover again. Okay. So we saw how we get this. We saw how we get this. We saw how we get this, text in Greek and English. Now we have this thing called links to Vesperal prayers. Do you see that? Yes. Why did we do that? So there were some priests that were saying, could we have the 7 prayers that the priest says while the introductory psalm is being read? And other people said, no, don't include those in the PDF file because, we use them all the time. We don't want to have to print them out, or they didn't want to go to the trouble to, exclude them when they print it out. So we found a way so that on the cover of the PDF file, when it's online, obviously, you can click and it'll take you to it takes you to another file, which has the priest's prayers. So it doesn't put them inside the service file, but it's an easy way for a priest or whoever to get to the file that he wants. And so that's where that is. Okay. Now, how did we get those there? That's what they do. But how do we get those there? So let's go to this was kind of tricky. It's in this eMattins covers file. So I had to type, we put the name of that. I don't know, where does that come in? All right, we're gonna have to drill down again. Sorry, people, but this is what happens. So to cover the EME. And we did all this. We did all the dates when the date is. Oh, PDF cover links to look up. Okay. So strange thing was that in the covers, in the templates for PDF generation, you put that insert section that's going to appear at the bottom, you put it, I had to put it above for some reason. And there's, so let's go to that link. And so here's what's actually there. And if we go to the, here, Vespral Prayers, it says links to Vespral Prayers, so we saw that. And then here's the bilingual, it says bilingual, and then here's the actual URL. So it's sending us to the link in Greek and English. Let's go there. And here's the URL. Is the value of the key is the string of the URL. And by the magic of PDF, when it sees, you know, what looks like a URL, it functions as a link. I don't think we did that other than putting what looks like a URL. It functions as a link. I don't think we were able to do that in any other way. It works that way because the PDF does that. The reason, so now how do we get around putting it, since it's on top, and that was the only way that it would work, was putting it on top. The way that I got it to position itself on the bottom is through using the style sheet. So if we go to the style sheet, yeah, cover 9, okay. PDF style sheet, here we are. Cover 9. Margin top.
We're still looking at the PDF itself, Father.
Sorry. So back to here. All right, so we needed a way to get those links to the Vespral prayers. And as I said, here's the section that is the links to the Vespral prayers. And it says links to Vespral prayers. You see that? Bilingual. And there's the URL to get to the bilingual Vespral prayers. and then English. And here's the link to get to that English PDF. So it's an actual complete, you know what? It doesn't have HTTP or anything like that. That's weird. And so that link is here. But I said that in the template, it's on top of everything. So how do I get it to be at the bottom of the page? Well, because of the role, the style that it's using. Cover 9, cover 10, cover 11. Those are the styles. So we go to the PDF style sheet. Cover 9 says the margin top is 8 inches. Okay, so that pushes it down. Cover 10, you know, it's so cover 9, you know, puts that whole section at the bottom of the page, towards the bottom of the page. It took a little bit of finagling to get it at the right place. And so what appears is the value of that key, which is the URL, and somehow or other, the PDF treats it as a URL. I'm surprised. Well, maybe because, you know, it looks like a URL. Anyway, so that's the cover. That's the cover. And I'm about, I think maybe that's all we can do today.
Yes. And I might comment, you mentioned faux.
Yeah.
And so what it is it's a XML markup language. It's called XSL formatting objects. So faux means formatting objects. And it's typically converted from XML into PDF. And that's what we do, is the ALWB generator generates faux files, and those are converted then into PDF files.
Yeah, and I've seen a faux file. I mean, we can open it, but it kind of looks something like, I mean, I can generate one here. Should I generate one here just to take a look at it?
Whatever you want to do. You might share your screen though, so we can see you doing it.
Yes. Look, it's the time of day or what, but I'm like totally depleted. All right, we'll just generate this. We go here in the templates project, generate. You have to tell it to generate PDF. Say yes. Roll G. We'll go over this another time, but so, all right, so it takes longer to generate the HTML than it does to generate the PDF, believe it or not. Okay, so now let's go find that. We haven't converted it to PDF. We're going to find that file that I just created, and you can take a look at the FO. Okay, do you see that? Yeah. Okay, so I mean, like if we scroll down to some beyond the covers so that you can like, so it's formatted as a table. So, you know, it's got its own tags, you know, FO table body, and then, you know, all the things that go with it, and the actual texts of the strings that's going to, here's, you know, like here's Ikos Playos to Tetartu on the Greek side, you know, and everything that goes with that to make it. And here's all of it. So here, the whole thing is its own language, and all that style from the PDF style sheet. That's where it went and found, you know, according to how we had tagged it, and everything comes together when I run the now watch here in this folder here, okay? I'm going to do the ALWB transformer. So this might be different in Voxa. I think you have a different.
It is. It's
Yeah.
different.
But in any case, I've just run this so fast. I mean, it's faster than Acrobat. And then it deletes the faux file and it opens the, I just opened it. You can't see it, but I just opened the PDF file. So yeah, any questions? Other ones?
None from me.
Okay. All right. So we ended up drilling down into a cover about as much as we would drill down in a service. But anyway, the covers are complex. But just to review, anything that appears on a PDF or on the HTML, any text that's there has to be somewhere in the library. And so it's easy to understand the contents of the Mineon and the Octoikos and the books, to understand those in various languages. But when it comes to publishing, whether it's deploying the website or publishing a PDF, well, there's a lot of stuff there that's not in the service books. It's not part of those libraries. So all those strings, all that stuff has to be somewhere and has to be brought together somehow. So that we kind of got a taste of that. I don't know that it gets much more complex than that, but yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, this is like explaining, the insides of a program, right? I mean, this is how it works.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We'd call it a code walkthrough in programming.
Okay.
Code
I mean,
walkthrough. Yeah.
nobody ran away. Nobody. Hopefully, some of this stuff will just work. When Michael converts it, and and it'll just be a series of settings, or a dialog box or whatever. Do this, and these things will be much easier because they will have been prepared.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So Thursday we'll continue with. Do we need more on PDF generation?
I think that's covered. Okay.
Okay, because the actual way that it's going to be generated will be different in Voxa, but the template, one and the same template will generate the HTML of the DCS and the PDF. But those certain parts of the template, like the head and the preface, those are specific to PDF generation, and other things for the HTML. And also, we don't do this now, but it also could generate EPUB, right? From the same. Well, I think you.
Yeah, an ALWB, but nobody. Yeah, no one ever used that. So.
Yeah. And then we'll do the hologram version too, so we can see it. All right,
Sarah.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to let you know that this Thursday will be the last time that I'll be available until the second full week of March. Next week, I'm going to be involved with a mission team as a translator. So I won't be available next week.
Are we suspended until then? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So Michael, why don't you send out then, a message that tells us and whoever when the next one will be.
Well, the next one will be Thursday. He means the week after.
Gotcha.
He's not. Right. You're not available.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So Thursday's
on, and then we'll skip a week.
Yep.
To the following Tuesday.
Okay. Same time, same link and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
Get some
Have
rest.
a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.